welcome to another episode of the Innovator Spotlight with the Ghana Innovation Journal. My name is Ammishaddai Ofori, and today I'm excited. Why? Because we'll be talking about money. We'll be talking about money, access to funding, to startups and entrepreneurs. This is my favorite topic. Why? Because in this part of the country and of the world, we usually say that we don't have easy access to funding. Guess what? If you're a startup founder, you have access to 100,000 euros in grant funding. And today you'll be hearing more about it soon. So in the studio with me today are the implementers of the develoPPP venture program. Will be introducing themselves very soon. And as a caveat, we are going to also interview 3 winners of the venture program that we are about to talk about today. So stay tuned, and with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome one of the implementers of today's program. Emmanuel, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Emmanuel. Good evening,
Great.
Emmanuel. How are you?
Very well, Ammishaddai. I'm doing very well. Happy to be here with you this evening. And yeah, excited and looking forward to the exchange. Yeah.
Fantastic, Emmanuel. Let's cut straight to the chase. People want to hear about this money that you are saying you're going to give us. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and how you're connected to this program?
Okay. Thanks once again, Ammishaddai, for the opportunity. Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Nomafo. I work with a development consultancy firm, and we call ourselves the Solution Hub, called CO Network, based in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. But today I'm wearing 2 caps. I'm representing CO Network, and I'm also representing another organization called Green Tech Capitals, also based in Frankfurt, Germany. Now, we are implementation partners for the develoPPP Ventures in Ghana. Now, the develoPPP Ventures is an initiative, or the initiative is led by GIZ, the Deutsche Gesellschaft für Zusammenarbeit. I believe we all know GIZ. With the support or under the leadership of the German Federal Ministry of Economic Development. In short, we call it the BMZ. So this is who I am, this is who I'm representing, and we're going to hear more about the develoPPP Ventures in a bit.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And thank you. As a local implementer, we need to be able to appreciate your effort in bringing this opportunity to those here in Ghana. Thank you so much. And I'm one of the people who are spearheading the develoPPP Ventures here in Ghana is Maurice. Maurice is going to quickly introduce himself, and he's going to do a quick presentation on the develoPPP Ventures, how you can get access to the funding that we are talking about. So Maurice, if you are here, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. Thank you, Ammishaddai. Hi everyone. My name is Maurice Kashinko, Executive Director ILM Africa, an accelerator based here in Accra, and one of the local implementing partner for the develoPPP project, as Emmanuel from CO Network has already alluded to. And without much ado, I want to go into the PowerPoint presentation that I have for you today, for you to have a general understanding about exactly what the develoPPP project is about. Great. So so the develoPPP project, basically we are looking at investing responsibly and then promoting development, and Ghana happened to be part of the countries that have been selected to implement this project, basically. And so in today's presentation, I'm going to be talking to you about the program as a whole, which is the develoPPP Classic, the develoPPP Ventures, how to apply for the funding that Ammishaddai has been talking about, and then basically the data points surrounding it, and then who to interact with following any questions you might have afterwards, basically. So the develoPPP program. It is a funding program by the BMZ, or the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation. it seeks to address companies wishing to invest sustainably in their various countries and to expand their local operations as well. Currently, you're looking at a technical and financial support worth up to 2 million euros. And of course, it has up to a 50% public sector contribution worth of, I mean, it's a grant funding or what you call investment, but it's a grant. And also looking to also give you competent advice and on-site support. And it's currently available in over 60 developing and emerging market countries, basically. What we
Okay.
are looking at basically is business interest and also development benefits in the sense that your solution or your innovation should have a benefit to the greater good of the people that you are selling to. So basically, that's the
Okay.
entire approach or idea of the develop PPP program. There are two arms on which the program works with or works on basically. One is the develop PPP Classic, and then the develop
Okay.
PPP Ventures. With the develop PPP Classic, we are looking at very well established companies that are now looking to break new barriers in their ecosystem. So they are very heavy cost intensive budgets to support whatever groundbreaking projects they want to do, and they have a
Okay.
funding of about a minimum of 100,000 euros up to 2 million euros. And I understand it's currently in Ghana at the moment. So if you know anybody that
Okay.
qualifies along those lines, of course you can reach out to them. But for the purpose of this conversation and for the purpose of this meeting, we are looking at the develop PPP Ventures, which is currently available
Okay.
in Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and Tanzania. So you can definitely tell your friends in all these other countries to apply for it as well. And for this, our target group is SMEs and young companies, so startups basically within our
Okay.
ecosystem who are looking to scale up. So the kind of support we are
Okay.
giving them is for growth funding, for scaling. And for the scope of the support, we are looking at giving them up to 100,000 euros, which is
Okay.
different from the developed classic, which is up to 2 million euros. But
And
up to
Maurice,
100,000 euros,
quick question.
yeah.
These startups, are they sector specific or can they come from any sector?
Currently, we have about 5 sectors we're looking at.
Oh,
We are looking at what do you call it? Green. We are looking at health.
okay.
We're looking at education. We are looking at I think construction as well. Anything that has to do with what do you call it? The SDGs. You have an innovation that supports the SDG goals. You basically can qualify for, but it has to be a cutthroat
Okay.
innovation, module that you have basically. And I think as I go on, you're going to see the various, areas that
All
we're
right.
looking at and supporting basically.
If I can quickly add to that, if I'm allowed,
Yeah,
should I? So yes,
Yes, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Maurice is spot on. Yes, I mean obviously it's an innovative project. We are looking for innovative startups, right, with innovative ideas. So I mean some sectors are very come across very prominent and also very innovative. However, we don't
Okay.
want to also limit companies. So it cuts across. If you have very innovative ideas in other sectors, you are also welcome to apply.
brilliant.
Thank you for that, Emmanuel. That's very helpful. Okay, Maurice, let's go on.
Brilliant. So yeah, the develop PPP ventures, what I was just talking about. So like I said, we're addressing young companies, SMEs, startups with innovative ideas. And like Emmanuel alluded to, it could be any sector, but you have to have like a cutthroat innovative idea basically. To improve the
Okay.
living conditions in developing markets, especially in Ghana, since you operate in Ghana, your business
Okay.
must already have generated a turnover. You should have been in existence for at least 1 year. And you've also must have had some other level of investment or other financiers who were convinced by your business and have given you money, and then we can then match up that funding. So the develop PPP project is basically a match up funding scheme, right? We are looking at
Okay.
giving you up to 100,000 euros, given the fact that you have raised the said amount or any amount up to that amount from other investors. And so it's like I said, it's a public sector funding from Europe that is up to 100,000. It's currently available in Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and Tanzania. And again, funding up to 50% of the total investment that you have received. Um, Now, someone may ask, what are the requirements? What do I need to have to be able to, apply for this particular program? Before you can apply, there are 7 things I want you to look at. Number one, your company must definitely be registered. A few of the companies in Ghana we realize that have not been registered. If you really want to be part of this program, I suggest that your company is registered, right? It has to be registered. Number two, we are not doing non-for-profit. We are not doing NGOs. We are doing fully privately and for-profit companies. So your company must be profit-oriented, basically. Your company must also have a sound business and financial plan and must have at least an annual financial statement, the first of its kind. That's why we are saying that at least should have been in business for about 1 year. And then
Okay.
also you should have received some level of investment. Either you have received the investment or you are looking to receive investment in the coming months. You have some level of documentation or that proves that you will be getting investment in the next few months. That can even propel you to even apply for this program. Because I know most of you may not necessarily have raised up to $100,000 or euros as of now, but maybe you are in the pipeline of raising the said amount from your investor networks and stuff like that. If you have any documentation that proves that, you can actually apply for the program. And also, you should not have raised more than 2 million euros in funding till date. Of course, if you have raised 2 million euros and more, it means that you don't really need funding. You should have been sailing by now. And of course, your business must be financially sustainable. These are very key things. And then the minimum requirements, of course, your company, your idea has to be strong. Can you hear me?
Yes, we lost you for just 10
Hello?
seconds, but we can hear you now. Go ahead. You were saying your
Yes,
minimum
your
requirements should
company,
be what?
the minimum requirement is what I mentioned earlier. And of course, when it comes to the innovation, you have to have a strong innovation. Especially in Ghana, we need to know that what you're doing is cutthroat. It's going to
Okay.
change, the ecosystem basically. You have to have a good prospect of scaling up. You should be willing to scale up. That is very important. If you look at your company, you should be able to determine that you
Okay, Maurice. And Emmanuel, can you
can
help
scale up
me here?
immediately.
So you
And
were
of course, you
saying that
should
I
be
should
basically
have raised some form of funding, but you are capping it at 100,000 euros. So if I've raised more than 100,000 euros, let's say 200,000, how is the matching going to be like?
Well, the ceiling here is up to 100,000 euros for develop
Okay.
PPP ventures, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, if you have managed or you'll be able to manage, if either you have or you'll be able to raise more than that, that is
Yes.
all well and good. That is fantastic.
Okay.
But here you can only access up to 100,000. And
Oh,
mind you, it's a matching grant.
okay.
So I think if you're able to raise more than that, then meaning the entire 100,000 is available to you, right?
wonderful.
So
Okay.
you can, that is a good thing.
All right.
Great,
Thank you for that,
great, great.
Emmanuel. Maurice, let's go back to you. So final slides,
Exactly.
and we can
So
ask for
how do you
questions.
apply? How you apply for the funding? I'm actually wrapping up. So how to apply for the
Okay.
funding? Number one, an application is opened. I'm sure if you've been checking your socials, you already know that an application process is open. It opened on the 15th of
Okay.
February and it's ending on the 31st of March. Currently there are no extensions, so the deadline day is the
Okay.
31st of March. So I want to encourage everybody watching and listening that if you know you qualify or you have interest, or you know companies that have interest in applying for this, let them apply as soon as possible. This is to say we
Can
just have
you
about
quickly let
2 more
the
weeks.
audience know where they can go get the link for the application? Is it on the website? Is it
Great.
on socials?
Yes, it is on the website. So it is www.develoPPP.de ventures, right? I think we can share it
Okay.
probably in the
Yes, we'll
comment
share
section on the
that
call.
on our slide reel as well.
Ex-
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. So the application process is open. After the application process closes on the 31st of March, there is going to be a rigorous, process to, select what is where, that is where the wheat from the tares. So at every stage in time, there's going to be a selection process, to check, to get the best of the businesses that we're looking for, basically. So there's going to be a pre-selection phase, and then we're going to shortlist. And after the shortlisted applicants, the shortlisted applicants would also go on to the pitching, level of which is step 3. And at the pitching level as well, there's really going to be a short list of the best companies that will stand out. So that at that stage as well, there are companies that may not go through as well. And then there's going to be a due diligence as well. And during the due diligence too, we are going to check, of course, we're going to do due diligence. There are companies too that may not also necessarily qualify during the due diligence process. Once you are able to go through all these 3 steps, then you can have access to the contract. We have the contract for you, and then the funding is then given over to you. So yes, you can apply, but then there are various steps that you have to go through to be able to access the funding. And I think it's just standard practice, especially if it's a grant money that we're giving to you. It is very necessary that we go through these steps to make sure that we are having the worth of our money, basically. And of course, in the fourth quarter, there's going to be another call as well on the 15th of November through to the 31st of December. I'm sure Imona can also speak to that during the questions if it comes up, basically. Yeah, but for the sake of this conversation, these are the various steps that we have to go through. Again, the application process is open. It ends on the 31st of March. Make sure you go to the website and apply for the link, or go to any of the implementing partners on their socials, especially on LinkedIn. That's CEO Network, Green Capital, and then ILM Consult. You can see various what do you call it, posts directing you to the application portal for you to be able to apply. That is if you're unable to go to the website. All these names companies are on LinkedIn. You can apply and then go through the various processes, like I said, and then we see how best you qualify to get the funding available for you. Most importantly, we are really driving gender equality for this project. And we highly advocate for female founders to really apply for this program. So so yeah, if you're a female founder on this call, you are highly encouraged to apply. If you know any female founder that you feel qualifies for this, most definitely reach out to them, have them apply for the program, and of course we are there to also assist with the application process. That brings me to my next point. These are the 3 main people, or the 3 main personalities that are behind the implementation of the project, and we are there to assist you through and through. So this is Thomas Festerling of Green Tech Capital. And when Emmanuel introduced himself, he said he's wearing 2 hats because Thomas is on the call. So of course, Emmanuel will be speaking to that as well. And then Emmanuel Nomako, I'm sure you've heard of him directly. He's also with CEO Network, and then myself from ILM Consult as the local implementing partner. So if you need anything, have any questions, you can ask now. This brings me to the end of this presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Maurice. I have a lot of questions, but there are 2 people on this call now who have been able to go through the process and have gotten access to funding. We are joined by Marie and Edward. So we are just going to quickly add them to today's call so that they tell you their real life experiences, how it was like getting access to the funding, and if there's any tips and if there's any advice that they will give you. Good evening, Edward. Good evening, Marie. How are the 2 of you doing?
Very well. Yourself?
I'm alive and well, Marie. Thank you for asking. Edward, how have you been? Edward, can you hear us? Okay, so whilst we are waiting for Edward, Marie, you have been a recipient of the develoPPP venture. Hi, Edward. Yes, we can hear you. We'll come to you soon. Marie, just wanted to get an idea from you. Can you quickly introduce yourself, who you are, the name of your venture, so that we can understand how you were able to access this opportunity?
Okay. Thanks, Ammishaddai. I'm Marie Wren, CEO of Collar Market. We are a B2B platform, so we provide sales as a service, inventory recommendations, so that's predictive demand planning, and product financing for small businesses.
And Marie, first of all, how did you hear about the program, and what was the experience like in your application process?
So actually, someone referred me to the program. So one of our current investors referred the
Okay.
program to me. I think it was quite a straightforward application process. So went to the website, there's a form to fill. And I think what I did was I kind of put in dummy responses so I could see the full breadth of the questions. And so that allowed me to take time, put them in a Google Doc, and then answer them offline before putting them
Okay.
back into the form online. I don't remember, but I think there was also a download option to get the form offline. But that's what I did. So that allowed me to work on it offline, get feedback from others, etc. And then, put that in. That itself didn't take a lot of time. Once you have all of the
Okay.
data points, especially on the financials, you're largely good to go.
Maria, I heard that the application process is tedious. How tedious would you say it is? And is it worth applying?
I think it's absolutely worth it. Like I said, I think it's mainly on the financials aspect. If you have those numbers right, then you don't have a problem. So it's good to kind of take note of the things that they're requiring from you, put that offline,
Okay.
and then get that data. Dedicate an hour or two, get that information correctly, and put it up. I don't think it's a stressful for the online application itself. It's not
Okay.
stressful. I think it's absolutely worth it. The pitch day, I think there was a lot of support leading up to the pitch
Okay.
day. So helping you think through how you should even structure your pitch. I think there was even a dry run before the main pitch. So you had the opportunity to do a first round pitch for feedback before
Okay.
the main pitch. But all in all, I think it's a very collaborative process. The teams are there to support you. It's not there to frustrate you. They're there to
Okay.
support you to make sure you have as smooth sailing as possible. So be honest, give feedback, and just like because the venture is also focused on profit driven startups. So also be sure of yourself of what you're trying to build, and communicate that very clearly as much as possible. But just be honest, be transparent, and get back to the team where you have any difficulties as much as possible.
Thank you for that, Maria. We just got a question from Clarice. We'll come to that soon. Edward, I just wanted to find out from you as well. So Marie said that there was a lot of help in the process when she was applying. Can you explain if there was any level of technical expertise that was needed in your application? Okay, Edward is off now. So let's go to the question. Marie, maybe you can help answer this, or Emmanuel, if you are available as well. Quickly, what's the question now? From Clarice. All right, from Patience. Patience at Pencro wants to know if we can throw more light on the level of investments that a company must have to qualify to apply. I think we've addressed this, but Emmanuel, if you can quickly answer this.
Absolutely, yes. So basically what the program seeks to establish is we need to find out, or we need to know if other financiers are convinced by the value of your business idea, right? So all we are asking is, it's a matching grant. So whatever GIZ is given to you as grant, there needs to be an investor who is willing to match that, right? And what does this mean? It means other financiers or this particular investor is convinced of the value of your business and is willing to put in something to match whatever GIZ is giving you. So this, as I explained before, the ceiling is up to 100,000. So if the financier is you are, according to your need, you need 50,000, for example, but there is always somebody who is also willing to put in another 50. So basically, this is what it means.
Okay, so for those asking questions who come to you really soon, keep the questions coming. More blogs, I see your question as well. We are just being joined by Shobita. She has also been one of the recipients of this grants funding. We just want to let you be able to appreciate the people who have had access to the funding, what the process was like for them, and if they would recommend anyone else applying. Shobita, welcome. How are you? Shobita, can you hear me? Okay, I think that your voice is either low or still muted. So let's give it one more try. Can you try speaking again, Shobita? Okay, no, we still can't hear you. It might be the earphone. So let's just try one more time. Edward is also on the call. Shobita, you're free to speak anytime you want, and when we can hear you, we'll acknowledge it. Edward, welcome.
Can you hear me well now?
Yes, fantastic. Shobita, we can hear you
Okay.
now. So let's get a quick intro from you, who you are, and how you were able to hear about the funding and what the experience was like.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Shobita. I'm the CEO and founder of Legendary Foods, and we were part of the first cohort for develoPPP's initiative in Ghana. And we found out about the application and we applied, and then we were shortlisted. So we then had to do an in-person pitch to the GIZ develoPPP team. And then the team came for due diligence at our site, which was really extensive. There was a lot of paperwork as well, a lot of due diligence required. And then it was a bit of a waiting game. And then we found out that we won. And then the contracting phase began.
Fantastic. And I'm hearing that the process is quite involving, and I get it. It's money we are talking about. But Shobita, especially for you, how did you find the impact of the investment on your business?
So the investment has certainly been very, very important to our business. So we applied for funding to get equipment to increase our capacity, our production capacity. So Legendary Foods is a food tech business. And so we produce the technology to farm protein from insects, from palm larvae, and then we turn them into delicious products. So cookies and shito and protein powder. And so we've just been able to produce a lot more shito, a lot more cookies, and also spend more money on marketing. So it's been very impactful for our business.
Thank you, Shobita. And if you're able to eat better shito, it's all thanks to develoPPP Ventures, isn't it? Edward, let's come quickly to you. Let's get to your experience. So Edward, can you explain to us how the process of getting the counterpart funding from other investors was like for you? And also, what was the process of actually receiving the funds?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me back. So I'm Edward, co-founder and CEO of Build. And Build typically helps SMEs better manage their business finances. Okay, so any of you that is having issues with your finances, just go to build.africa. Okay, right. So first of all, we got into the program on the second attempt. Right, the first attempt we got to the pitching stage, and we had lots of feedback on things we could do better. So we went back, changed stuff, and then came in again. And at the time, we were actually trying to get pre-seed funding. So it's sort of helped us. We had some funding in, and once we got into the program, we told people that we were chasing for funding that, hey, see, we do have some funds come in. Can you top up how much you offered us? So we also use that as a channel to sort of pressure other people that had sort of made commitments to send in funds. So that's how we were able to get the funds in.
Okay. So you sort of said, I already have a commitment of people who want to fund me, and if you bring in the fund, they will be able to match the fund, and that even help you to raise funding. Is that correct?
Exactly.
That's a brilliant approach, Edward. And can you also let us know how the actual process of receiving the fund went? Was it a quick deposit in your account? Was it tranches? Was there anything you had to do before you received the fund?
Yes, so after everything, you have to sign a contract, right? And I think that takes time because I'm actually being told that they have to check everything to ensure that it aligns with GIS's policy. So it took probably 2 weeks, but the funding came eventually when, all of us were like, maybe it will come in 2024, but it came, yes. And it came as 80% first, and then you would be given a 20%. I think that 20% is more like something they keep for you to do anything they ask you to do. Then after everything, go in for the final 20. But this was actually shared. So it isn't as if they did not tell us and then it was only 80 that came. This was shared with us. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. And I'm hearing that it's all about making sure that you're ready to receive the funding. They even sort of trigger you to do all you can to be ready for investment. And I love that. Marie and Shobita, let's come to you quickly. We have just 15 minutes to round up. There are some questions as well, so we'll take a look at them. Keep your questions coming in if you've just joined. We are speaking with the development partners, the implementation partners of the develoPPP venture application program. They are offering up to 100,000 in grants funding, 100,000 euros. And today I am speaking with Shobita from Legendary Foods, Marie from Cola Market, and Edward from Build. These are past recipients of the grants funding, and they are sharing their experiences with you. If you have any questions, please put them there and we'll read them shortly. So Marie, back to you. Can you just highlight the level of technical experience that was needed in your application process and who provided you with these services?
Technical experience, not much. I mean, it was a straightforward form on the platform. The due diligence process was mainly, we received folders in a Drive and some Google documents, Excel and Word, and we needed to fill in the responses there. So not much of technical expertise. It's not like a cumbersome software that you need to navigate.
Okay. Thank you, Marie. That's very helpful. Shobita, there are some questions from our viewers as well, so we're just going to read some of them. If you can answer, please go ahead. Otherwise, we are happy to pass it on to the past recipients as well. So let's take the questions quickly. From Moblocks. Moblocks wants us to give clarification. Could you clarify if this is a grants funding or equity funding? Number one. And if it's the latter, if it's equity funding, is there a percentage of equity?
Shobita, maybe I take this.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead. No, it's grant. It's grant financing. This is pure grant. It's not equity. It's grant financing. So we don't even go to percentages, right? I mean, maybe you hear from the horse's owner to our past recipients.
Shobita, did anyone come to you asking for equity?
No.
No.
Okay. Let's take the second question then. Thank you. Philip Chum wants to know if we can clarify what the margin fund is. So if we say 50%, what does that mean? I guess, Emmanuel, this will also be to you.
Well, you have to basically match whatever. I mean, your investor or your financier basically has to match whatever GIZ is given to you. And where does that come from? This is based on your request and your need, right? So, I mean, 50%, yes, but it basically depends on what you're asking, right? And what you're asking from GIZ, and GIZ wants to see a commitment from the other party.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, no, let's use an example. Say I, as a co-founder, want to raise 100,000 euros. Am I going to come to develoPPP and ask for 50,000 euros, or am I going to ask for 100,000 euros, knowing that I am going to get an extra 100,000 euros from an investor?
Well, I would like the
I'll
past to share the experience, but I want to say that it's based on your need, on what you need as a. You're going to put in a proposal. You're going to say, okay, this is where we are. This is the level of financing we need at this point, right?
Okay.
So this is what then GIZ is going to based on and give you the grant. But maybe practically, let's hear from what the experience was with maybe Edward. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, sure. So how it is you would go in there to indicate what you actually want to do, right? And then show the total amount. GIZ takes 50 and you take 50, right? Just that the 50 GIZ is taking should not go above 100K euros.
Okay. All right. It all depends on how much you want to raise. If you are a co-founder looking to raise, let's say, even 200,000 euros, you can go to develoPPP Ventures and say, I'm looking to raise 200,000 euros. I've had a commitment from an investor who is willing to give me 100,000 euros. Can you match that to the 100,000 euros? Or you are raising 75, you can go to develoPPP Ventures and say, I'm raising a total of 75. Can you give me up to 35 to 40? I hope that explains it. We have one more question from Mary Okon. Oh, we have 3 more questions. So from Mary, is this a grant or equity funding? Mary, I believe we've answered this. This is a grant funding. And if the latter, what percentage? Okay, so got it. Mary, it's fully grants. From Kwame Demfi, if the investor is providing a grant, does it also qualify? I'm not sure I understand this question. So Kwame, if you can retype it, or if any of you can answer that question as well. And let's move on to the last question, just so we are clear. And from Ryla Farms, I need all the 100K. We have already invested 900K. I need a consultant to guide me in the application process. Okay, Ramila Farms, thank you for that. Emmanuel, is there any consultant?
Yeah, Ramila can reach out. Yes,
Ramila
can reach out to me. Any of if either me or Maurice. You can reach out and we will support you with the application process.
Okay, how do they reach out to you?
Ammishaddai, can I leave my email address in the chat, in the comment, and would it appear to everyone?
Yes, okay, you can. So please do that, and we'll highlight that as well. So Ramila, you can reach out directly to Emmanuel. He'll be happy to help you. All right, we have just about 7 minutes to wrap up. So I would like to go back to former recipients. Just in 1 minute, any advice for those who will be applying? Any advice for future applicants from all of you? Just 1 minute. Let's start with you, Marie.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, it's quite a collaborative process. The due diligence is very intensive. So you need to be patient, but you need to be very diligent yourself. So make sure that you have all the right data that is being asked for, and you're able to provide that to the team, because this is 100,000 euros, and the team needs to be convinced that you're actually going to be able to use that effectively to reach the project goals that you said or mentioned in your proposal. And I think it also gives you a good starting point for subsequent applications. So you already have answers to a lot of these questions that follow-on investors would be asking anyway. So it's really worth it to spend an hour, 2 hours, and put your due diligence information together very well and clearly. And also ask the team for their input and feedback where you're struggling. Don't keep everything to yourself and try to make it through. Reach out to the team. Hey, I don't know how to answer this question. Am I doing it the right way? This is what I want to say. Do you think I'm putting it across right? And it's a really collaborative process. So that's all I can add.
Just a dumb question, Marie. How do you reach out to the team? Was it on the application platform?
So after the pitch, that you have the team's emails, they'll be reaching out to you sometimes on
Okay.
WhatsApp. So you have them
Okay.
like at any time, yeah.
Easily available. Okay, thank you so much. Shobita, let's come to you. Any advice for current applicants for this round?
Yeah, I would think like if you're in the application process, I would just think about what's kind of a very impactful use of funds in terms of what you're asking for. So I think at a certain point in time, like we wanted to use the money for like rent or something, and they were like not so happy about that. They wanted us to use it for things that were maybe more interesting. Not that rent is not important. Obviously, everybody needs to pay, office rent or factory rent or whatever. So it's still important to the business, but I think they want to be involved in a use of funds that is impactful, is going to create more jobs, is interesting, has a sustainability component to that. So if you want to stand out, I would just think about like what could be the most valuable, interesting, engaging use of funds. Like if they're going to talk about this at a dinner party and they're going to talk about your business, they want to be like, we gave 100K to this super cool business and the 100K was used for this. How interesting is that? So I would think about that.
Oh, that's such great advice. Thank you, Shobita. And let's come back to you, Edward. Any practical advice for those applying?
Yeah, sure. First, I would want to answer the question from Kwame. Yes, you can have grants as the 50% fund. You don't have to get debt equity at all. You can actually use grants as the other 50%, okay? And to add to what my other colleagues have shared, just know that this is not one of the programs where you go and send in some data, say things, and then they will see it and then come and give you funding. It takes time. So please ensure that the info you put in there are things you can actually justify, are things that are true, because once you go through the first stage, you have about 4 stages, and each of them they will be asking you questions, right? You would have to sort of provide data to prove everything you've told them. So ensure that you are having verifiable data, true data, so that you can go through and you are not just putting in things just to ace the first stage, but something that can take you throughout. Okay? This is what I wanted to do.
Thank you so much for that, Edward. And it's just important to remind everyone, this is 100K in grants funding. That means that they are not asking for equity from you, but there's no such thing as free money, right? You have to show your worth, you have to show the value. And like Shobita has also mentioned, you have to show that it's impactful. You're getting 100,000, up to 100,000 euros. How is it going to impact your business and the people around you? Guys and ladies, thank you so much for joining tonight. I believe that everything that you shared has been super helpful for those applying for the develoPPP venture program. If you are just tuning in or you tuned in the middle of the conversation, my name is Ammishaddai Ofori, co-founder and director of the Innovation Spark, and you have been tuning into the Innovator Spotlight. We meet every other Thursday, and today we discuss the develoPPP Ventures funding opportunity. These are a group of local implementers in Ghana who have come together to give SMEs like yourself access to 100,000 euros in funding. And this funding is a grant. That means that they are giving to you for free. And that's why everyone is highlighting that the application process is thorough. Just one quick round. Emmanuel, from you, is there anything else you want to add since you are the local implementer? Anything you're expecting from SME co-founders?
Yeah. Okay, I will use just quick one. I would say, yes, develoPPP Ventures is here in Ghana. Call for applications have been open since 15 February. It's ending a little over a week on the 31st, so please hurry and apply. It's a project. The initiative is led by GIZ on behalf of the BMZ, or the Federal Ministry of Economy and Development Corporation. Development Corporation in Germany. And we, i.e., where I work, CEO Network, together with our partners, Green Tech Capital, are the implementation partners. Ammishaddai, for the sake of those who just joined, let me quickly recap the process, right? So the first step, there is an application process. Please visit the website, submit your application. Once that is done, the implementation partners as well as GIZ, we are going to do a pre-selection process, right? We're going to assess the application for quality. The third step is the pitch event, right? So your application is selected. After step 2, you go through a pitch in front of decision makers. We're going to ask you a few questions. And then once you're selected, you move on to the next stage, which is the due diligence stage, right? It's here, we're visiting you, basically going through your business plan, your financial forecast, and all of those things, right? To make sure that everything is on point. Then those who will be selected from here, there will be a contract signing. So there will be a contract between you and GIZ. And after this, the fund is released. So it's a very simple, straightforward process. I will encourage everyone to visit the website and apply.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And for those wondering, we'll share the link to the website on our social media platforms at The Innovation Spark and Ghana Innovation Journal. Their name is develoPPP Ventures. We'll share that as well. Go check it out. This is access to funding from you. Deadline is March 31st. So you want to start the process today and send it through. Thank you all so much for joining. My name is Ammishaddai Ofori, Director of Innovation Spark, and this has been Innovator Spotlight. Thank you all so much. Cheers. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.